Hello friends, my name is Raunak. I am from a small village called Basera in the West Champaran district of Bihar. Today the story I am going to tell you is a true incident that happened with me. This incident took place about 20 years ago when I used to work as a medical representative, MR, in a medicine company. Near our village, there was a small railway station called Majhaulia. At that time, it was just a station in name. There was only a small room built there and trains would stop for barely 2 minutes. Passengers had to quickly get down with their luggage within those 2 minutes. In those days, there were many rumors about that station. People used to say that some mysterious entity wandered around there at night, which would confuse travelers and lead them onto the railway tracks, causing them to get hit by trains. It was also said that a witch lived there with her child. Because of this, people were terrified of going near that place at night. But I always considered all these things nonsense. Because many times while returning from Bettiah, I had passed through that same station and nothing ever happened to me. However, what happened later in my life taught me a lesson that one should never mock or challenge unknown forces. At that time, I worked as an MR. Every day I used to go out with medicines in the morning, and in the evening I would go to the Bettiah office to settle accounts and collect medicines for the next day. Around that time there was a wedding in my extended family, so I couldn't go to work for an entire week. We enjoyed a lot during the wedding, but because I didn't work for so many days, my pocket became completely empty. As you know, in an MR job, there is no fixed salary. The more you sell, the more you earn. So on the day the final feast ended, I decided that since the office remains open till 11 p.m., I would leave home by 8 p.m., collect medicines, and complete pending orders the next day. After having dinner, I went to my room and started packing my bag. It was already 9 p.m. While I was packing, my mother came into the room. Seeing me packing, she asked where I was going. I explained everything casually. But when she heard that I was going to Bettiah at night, she kept staring at me and said, "Son, you know that railway station is haunted, and you have to cross that road to go to Bettiah. It is not safe to pass from there at night." Hearing this, I laughed and said, "Oh mother, all this is nonsense. I don't know who filled your mind with these stories. The time of ghosts is over. This is the age of science. Have you ever seen a ghost yourself?" Irritated, she replied, "No one has seen God either." "Does that mean you don't believe in God?" I had no answer to that. Even though we cannot see God, faith still exists. I didn't want to argue, so I reassured her. "There's nothing to worry about. I'm not going to the station, I'm just passing by it on my bike." But she insisted, "Why the hurry? Go tomorrow morning." I picked up my bag and said, "No, I have to go today. It's been many days and my pocket is empty. If I get medicines now, I can complete my work tomorrow." Understanding my situation, she agreed but warned me, "Don't stop there. And if you see anything or someone asks you to stop, no matter what happens, don't stop your bike." I assured her and left on my bike. Bettiah wasn't far. After crossing Majhaulia station, the highway comes, and from there it's just 15 minutes. I was riding happily, humming Bhojpuri songs. Within 5 minutes, I crossed the village road and reached the main road. Suddenly, my bike started feeling very heavy, as if it was stuck. Before I could understand anything, some children shouted from behind, "Brother, stop! Both your bike tires are punctured." I was shocked. I had checked them before leaving, but when I got down, both tires were indeed punctured. My mind got frustrated. With an empty pocket, this was the last thing I needed. Somehow, I pushed the bike to a nearby puncture shop. It was closed, but the shopkeeper was known to me and slept there. After knocking, he came out and fixed the puncture quickly. I told him I would pay later and rushed off. By then, I had already lost half an hour. It was around 9:30 p.m. I sped up my bike. Soon, I reached Majhaulia station. For a moment, my mother's words echoed in my mind, but I ignored them and kept riding. The road was deserted. Not a single person was visible. I kept convincing myself that ghosts are just imagination, but my heart was racing, as if Something bad was about to happen. As I crossed the railway gate, I noticed a woman standing on the left side of the road with a small child. Due to fog, visibility was low. When I pointed my bike's headlight towards her, she signaled me to stop. I didn't want to stop, but thinking she might be in trouble, I did. As soon as I stopped, she came near. She was wearing a red saree and had covered her face with her veil. Her voice was soft yet disturbed. She said, "My child is unwell. I need to go to the city. Can you take us?" Looking at the child, I forgot my mother's warning. That was my first mistake. And then, I made the second mistake by agreeing. I said, "Don't worry, sit behind." Instantly, she and the child sat on my bike. I started riding. I tried talking to her, but she only replied with faint sounds. After some time, she placed her hand on my shoulder. I ignored it. Soon, I reached the main highway. A bullock cart passed by and the driver looked at me with fear, trying to signal something. I ignored him too. After some distance, I noticed the child's legs. They seemed unusually long, and the woman's fingers and nails were pressing into my shoulder. A chill ran through my body. When I looked again, I was horrified. The child's legs had stretched so long that they were dragging on the road, covered in blood. The woman's arms had also grown longer. At that moment, I realized they were not human. They were the witch and her child. I immediately stopped the bike and jumped off, running for my life. Behind me, I heard a terrifying laugh. When I turned back, I saw them chasing me. In the deserted, foggy highway, I ran screaming. I felt it was my last night. Suddenly, I heard temple bells. I remembered a Hanuman temple nearby. Gathering all my strength, I ran towards it and entered. I collapsed near the priest. Seeing my condition, he asked what happened. I could only say, "Ghost." He sprinkled water on me and gave me some to drink. Slowly, I calmed down. He assured me that nothing could harm me there. Later, I told everything. Hearing about my bike, he and some people went with me to the highway. My bike was still lying there. Somehow, I brought it back to the temple. That night, I stayed there. The next morning, I went to the office, completed my work, and returned home. While passing that station again, even in daylight, I felt terrified. Since that day, I have never passed that place after evening. Even today, I avoid that area. Many times I heard that people died near that railway crossing at night. And whenever I think about that night, I realize, if I wasn't lucky, I wouldn't be alive today to tell you this story.